And it is just about time, not just about time, it is time to go ahead and get started. Hey, I am Coach James, and welcome to At the Track Live. I am the creator and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. What is All About Aerodynamics, you ask? Glad you asked, even if you didn't ask. All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics-related topics, including, but not limited to, aerodynamics, drag, lift, downforce, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic force, elastic energy, and many other topics. Once we have discussed those topics, once we've conducted experiments to drive home those concepts, then and only then do I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student has the opportunity to select a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything they've learned in the class, and then they take pictures of their cars. They weigh their cars. They test the speed of their cars. They document the year the car was manufactured. They collect all of the evidence that they can observe, and they enter that information into a spreadsheet, and then they set up a 1/64th scale quarter-mile drag strip and race the cars, and we have a little tournament. And they observe, how did their cars perform? Did their cars perform up to or below their expectations? And if they had the chance, would they select that car again? Or would they make a different choice based on what they observed? We have fun with Hot Wheels cars, we learn science, and what could be better? If you would like more information about all about aerodynamics and how to bring our program to your school or your organization or your special event, all you have to do is follow us on Instagram, AA Aerodynamics, and you can find all the information in the bio that you will need to contact me to get more information. Or you can just jump straight to our website, aaerodynamics.com, and all of the information you need is there, and you can get detailed information about the science course that is all about aerodynamics. But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is all about Aerodynamics presents At the Track Live. So what is At the Track Live? Before I can bring all of those cars in for the students to use, I have to make sure that I have catalog the cars, that I know which car belongs where, so that as the students are using the cars, I can put the car back in the correct position and make sure that it is available for the next group of students to use. But doing that and entering those cars into the fleet is a boring process, so I created At the Track Live to sort of liven up and make more interesting something that I had to do. So every week I go into storage, pull out about 6 different Hot Wheels cars and crack those open, take a look, shoot a short video for the online class, and take a still picture, enter the information into the spreadsheet, get the year the car was manufactured, and then the car is ready to be used by the next group of students. But since I've already got the cars out, since the track is already set up, I figured why not just have a tournament? Let's have a little mini race. Let's see which car is the fastest of the new cars that are introduced. Why not? So that's what we do. We have a little mini tournament, but wait, there's more. With At the Track Live, you have the opportunity to participate, thus the live part. So all you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live. There are 3 options on the page. One is the YouTube stream link, one is the Twitch stream link. You don't need those because you're already here. or you're watching it some other time. But the third link, the third most important link, is the one that says choose a car. If you select the choose a car option, you will be taken to this page. And on this page, all of my hard work is visible and available to be seen and observed. All you have to do is scroll through and you can see every single one of the cars that is currently in the All About Aerodynamics at the Track Live fleet. And there are currently, let me double check my spreadsheet. We currently have 812 cars in the fleet. So there are 812 different Hot Wheels cars for you to choose from. And when I say for you to choose from, what I mean is you can go through, and if you find a car that you think is faster than one of the cars that I've introduced today, then all you have to do is take the number of that car, drop it into the chat, and I will pull that car, and then we will enter it into the tournament, and it will race with the other cars that are introduced and any other viewer picks. And we will see if your car can be the fastest car on the track today, if it can take the tournament. If it can take the tournament, then it has the opportunity to become our fastest in fleet car. The fastest in fleet car is the car that has been our champion from the previous week. And in the case of our current fastest in fleet car, it has been the champion for a long time. And I haven't kept track of the weeks that it's been the champion, but I know that there's a date in the future that I'm looking at, because we are going to have a champion versus champion showdown, potentially a rematch, and our current fastest in fleet car is this one. It is the Gazella R, and let me zoom on in on the champ. And this car has been far and away the fastest car in the fleet since sometime last year. And the car that it took out, the Blitz Speeder, was the champion for 17 weeks. We were keeping track, just checking off the weeks, and could any car come out and beat the Blitz Speeder. I was visiting some family back east. I went into a store Five Below, saw a 2-pack, and one of the cars I already had, but the other car was the Gazella R. And I was just looking at it and looking at the shape and the style and knowing the Blitz Speeder and the style of that car and the shape. And I thought, okay, this looks like a car that could, compete. At least it's in the same style. Picked this car up, brought it back, we cracked it open, took the video, took the pictures, weighed the car, did all of that, put it on the track, and it beat the Blitz Speeder. I believe it was, I think they went to 3 races, because our races are best 2 out of 3. I think it went to a 3rd race, and the Gazella R became our new fastest in fleet champion and hasn't looked back. It's had very few close races. I think it maybe has lost 1 or 2 of the 2 out of 3, but it came back and won the others. So that didn't impact its dominance. And since then, it has been pretty much beating cars with extreme ease. So we will see. As it stands, it is on the move, the rematch. So basically, when the Gazella hits its 17-week mark as champion, that's when we'll go back, bring the Blitz Speeder back out, and we'll have a rematch. Now, that all assumes that the Blitz Speeder remains champion until that 17th week. And I calculated it out, and that will be March 29th. So we've got basically just over a month to see if the Blitz Speeder can, the Gazella R can maintain its status as fastest in fleet champion, and whether or not it will be setting up the huge monumental rematch on March 29th. And it's close enough. If you watch wrestling, we're in that that road to WrestleMania. We're in that WrestleMania season. So by March 29th, we'll just be a few weeks out from WrestleMania. So this will be our main event. Can the Gazella stay champion, or is the Blitzspeeder going to come back and reclaim the title? I don't know, but that is what we have down the road. But as for today, we are going to be racing cars. We're going to be opening up some cars, and I do have something else to introduce. Roughshod, what is up? Roughshod is back, and he called his shot last week, and he's got this list of cars that he knows he's going to go through. So he called his shot last week, and he picked car number 78. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Oh yeah, okay, the Exotique, I guess is what we're gonna go with. And this car is gonna be interesting because it's extremely sleek, and I'm looking at the that sort of driver's canopy area, and there's not a traditional windshield, so the airflow should be good. The aerodynamic profile is good. The back end was, I think, the thing that we're not sure about. We'll know once I pull it. Is the back end rounded? It seems like it might be rounded, kind of more like a Porsche in the back. Or is it flat? It doesn't have the wing. And we have noticed that some of the cars that have been particularly successful, the Gazella, the Blitzspeeder, some others, there was a BMW a while back last year, that have this wing, and they have the wing kind of elevated at or about the roof line. This car doesn't have that, so we'll have to find out what difference it makes, but it looks to be a metal car on a plastic body, which is a little different. We see a lot of plastic cars on metal bases. So we'll have to see how that impacts the weight. And yeah, so Roughshod has got his pick in. And as a matter of fact, if you're into toy hunting, car hunting, all of that, check out Roughshod's channel, Roughshod Stocks. I was just watching your Super Bowl episode just while I was setting up, and what I need to do, I need to check Ross. I never go into Ross. I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, but I need to start going in there and check. There's one down the street, and in watching your channel, I noticed that there's a lot of things like way marked down, especially some of the wrestling figures and some other things. So I'm gonna have to start checking out Ross. I wish we had an Ollie's out here in California, because they look like they have just deals on top of deals on top of deals, slashing prices. But we don't have that out here. So maybe when I go back and visit some relatives back east, then I'll have to look for the Ollie's. What's up, Jordan? Jordan is asking if I have a mod rod. I'm pretty sure I do. Let me check. The question is whether or not it is in storage or whether it is in the fleet already. So let's take a look. Yes, mod rod. Car number 429. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let's see, 429. There are quite a few. So today, when I was looking in the storage bin for cars to pull out for today's episode, it was like I'm starting to see a lot of cars that are duplicates. So just more cars that go into the prize bin, which is the cars that are set aside for students to select as prizes if they answer questions or have good citizenship, things like that. So I don't want to have duplicates in the fleet, but I don't mind if I've got a duplicate, because then it's just a car that another car that the students can pick from. Okay, so let's see. Here we go. The mod rod number 429, and it looks kind of like a modified bone shaker, and it's got a little more. The lines are a little more curved than the bone shaker, which I believe has more of a squared out cabin. This is an open-wheeled car, and we know that we found out in recent weeks, months, that open-wheel cars are fine until and unless they crash. When they crash and they hit that first barrier, especially the first barrier, because that's when the cars are coming out with the most force. They hit that barrier and crash. Typically, if they do that, the axles get bent, and then the wheels all wobbly, and they have to get retired from the fleet. But let's see. Jordan's going with the mod rod, so I will write that number down. It is 429. So we've got 78, we've got 429, and that, if you have a car that you want to see race, you can do exactly what Jordan did, what Roughshod did. And on this page, when you go to AtTheTrack.live, select choose a car, and you come to this page, all of the cars are numbered. So all you have to do is take the number of the car and or name and drop it in the chat, and I will pull that car and we'll take it to the track. And I'm looking here. Here's another one, the Rip Rod. And I think at some point, I've got all these ideas for races that I want to have in the future. There should be some kind of rat rod type race, because we've got the bone shaker, we've got this one, we have the mod rod, and there's that off-brand set of die-cast cars. I think they're like metal machines or something, but a lot of their cars are clearly modeled after some of the Hot Wheels cars. I've seen their version of the Roger Dodger, their version of the Bone Shaker, and I have that, and we should be I should at some point just have that race, just go through, pull out all these rod cars. So let's see, the Rip Rod and the Mod Rod. So the first difference I see is that this Rip Rod it's almost like they combined the dune buggy type off-road thing and the rod, but you see that this front part in front of the driver's section is covered. Let's go back and take a look. And then, I mean, there's little differences. I can't tell. This looks to be possibly, I want to say it's metal on plastic, but I can't. It's definitely a plastic base. I mean, we'll check. I think that is metal, so I think it's metal on plastic. And the designs aren't too dissimilar. The Roughshod says like a 30-something, like a Ford Roadster. Yeah. But in terms of picking these cars for the race, I would say that I'm always looking at the back end of the car, and so this mod rod, it looks like there may be a little plastic piece sticking out between the back wheels that would be the part that presses up against the launching block. Otherwise, the wheels will be pressed up against the launching block, whereas on this Rip Rod, it's got whatever these, if they're supposed to be tailpipes or whatever, sticking out of the back. Those are the only two parts that would be pressed up against the launching block, and I'm not sure how that would go in terms of what kind of launch it would get, if it would get, a solid push, if it would get pushed to the side, or if the car is light enough, it would fly up in the air, crash into the barrier, and bend that axle. We are going to find out, well, we won't find out with the Rip Rod, we'll find out about the Mod Rod, and see whether or not that can stay on the track. Let me see, I've got to have I know that I have a bone shaker, but the question is, do I have one in the fleet? Yeah, two 23. So all of these rod cars, these hot rods, are sort of derivatives of the, where is the OG? Right here, the Bone Shaker. And there's so many versions of the Bone Shaker that this is just one of many. And now, see, the Bone Shaker, I don't have to worry. If the Bone Shaker gets damaged on the track, no problem, because Hot Wheels is guaranteed to make another Bone Shaker just in with a different paint scheme. So I'm not worried about the Bone Shaker. And if you ever go to have a chance for the Hot Wheels Legends Tour, if it comes around your city, they have full-size versions of that car builders made of these Hot Wheels cars, and the Bone Shaker is definitely one of them that is always sort of constantly on display. That one and the Twin Mill. So, again, if you want to pick a car, go to AtTheTrack.live, select the choose a car option, come to this page, find your car, drop the number and the name. In the chat, I'll pull the car. So we already have 2 cars lined up. I will be introducing at least 4 more, and we will have the races and see what is up. Now, I don't have Ollie's, and I didn't go to Ross, but I did go to a Dollar Tree this week, and it's just one of those things, right place, right time. I was going in there for something else. I always go by the Hot Wheels aisle, and I went in, and they must have just stocked it either the night before or just before I got there, because the pegs were full, the whole section was clean, nobody had really gone through it, and I got a bunch of cars. The ones that stand out, there's a Lamborghini in this latest group of cars. It's white with, I believe, orange and black or dark brown stripes, and it's some kind of Safari edition Lamborghini. I don't know, but that was cool. There were quite a few that I picked up, but one of the cars that I picked up, I had to pick it up because last year I went to up to San Jose, and while I was up there, I went to a car show. There was the San Jose, it was like the Lowrider Festival. So they had blocks of downtown blocked off, and all these custom cars and lowriders were out there. And I remember I was like taking pictures of all the cars, and I believe on our YouTube channel there is a little highlight video that I put together from the San Jose Lowrider show. So if you go to our YouTube channel, it should be prominent. It's near the top if you just go to videos or whatever. But anyway, you can look at that video. In that video, my favorite car from that show was this one. It was this, I believe it's a 67 Buick Riviera. 66, 67. But this was like the car. And so I loved this car. I was checking it out. And of course, afterwards, I just started Googling and checking to see what do these cars go for these days. And so I was, doing all that Googling. And I'm not in the market to buy a car, especially an older car, that I would have to put a lot of care and time and work and effort into. But I definitely like this car. And even though I wasn't in the market to buy one, I started, because I had been Googling it and doing all that, I started getting ads on Instagram for classic cars. I started getting ads here and there saying, oh, are you interested in this 66 Buick Riviera on sale? And that was cool and all, but I wasn't in the market. But when I was at the Dollar Tree, what did I come across? Hot Wheels in their new pack, a 66 Buick Riviera. It's even in the same color. So I can't have the real thing. So the next best thing is the Hot Wheels version. So I now have a 66 Buick Riviera with the light blue metal flake paint, same as the one that I saw in San Jose. So this will be getting introduced into the fleet. However, I was looking at it, and I don't know. I guess it's just a manufacturing defect, because I'm going to have to buy another one. Let me switch over to which camera? Let me switch over here. And right here, you can see, look at that, just above the rear wheel. There's just a piece of metal that looks like it didn't get clipped off. Because I know for a fact, like, the real car doesn't have just a random piece of metal sticking out. So this is, I mean, it doesn't impede the wheel or anything like that, but I don't like it. So I am going to pick up another one, and I will see if they're all like this. I can't believe that they are. I think it's just a little manufacturing defect. But I was happy to see this, and this is definitely going to be a car that's going in the collection. I don't expect it to be particularly fast, but I like it, and so it's going in, and that's how it is. But that was not the big thing of the week. The big thing of the week, as you may have seen, I just posted the video yesterday, and I'd been talking about for a while that I had ordered the Windsible, which is the 1/64th scale 1/64th scale wind tunnel. And it was a Kickstarter project, and then you had to fund that, and was it going to actually happen? Could it happen? They got all the funding they needed. They went into production. They were keeping everyone updated. They were making modifications, testing things out, reworking things, and ultimately they put it into production, and it got sent out, and I have the Windsible right here. Let me see. Because I've been working on trying how to set this up. So I think what I'll do is, let's try this first. Turn this off. Go here. So I haven't really worked out my setup, but basically this is it. This is the Windsible. You can ignore sort of the legs. I have to get some kind of camera phone stand, so these legs are sticking out. But this is it. It is the wind tunnel, and the cars go in right here, and we're gonna throw some cars into it in a little bit. And if you want to see the full review, hey, how's it going? If you want to see the full review, lengthy review, you can just go to the on our YouTube channel, and I'll start putting some links and little promo things in the Instagram account and bio and stories and all of that. But on that review on the YouTube channel, it's about an hour long, and I go through the unboxing process, the assembly, and have a bunch of cars that I put in there, some cars and trucks, and have close-ups, and you can see how it works. But basically, the short version is my overall impressions of the thing are that it's great, and it works just the way that it was described, and I don't have any issues. Now, granted, I've only been using it for about two or 3 days, but to this point, I don't have any problem with it. My thing is that I don't, and I mentioned this in the video, I don't know who it's for, because it costs $239. I don't think I paid that much because I only had to fund the Kickstarter program, and so the people who initially funded it, um, got in on. Basically, you fund the project, and if it meets its goal and becomes a project and becomes a thing, then you get the product. Now it's a commercial thing, and they know what their costs are and everything. So anyway, it's $239. So who is this for? Obviously, like serious kind of Hot Wheels enthusiasts, collectors, because they are making larger versions for bigger size cars. But right now, the Hot Wheels version is the thing. And so for me, teaching a class about aerodynamics, this is perfect. Couldn't have been a better device to come through a production line than this. This is absolutely perfect for me. But for the average, just sort of Hot Wheels collector, it's cool. But is it worth $239? And who am I to say? I mean, maybe for somebody that's no big amount of money. But then I start thinking about the people that I know who are like sort of serious Hot Wheels collectors. They tend not to open the Hot Wheels. They tend to keep them like mint on card and in the package. So are they going to open up their older Hot Wheels cars that they have on card just to see how what the aerodynamic situation is? I don't know. But I don't know who the audience is, but it received enough backing from the Kickstarter that I hope that they're able to continue to make these and sort of expand what they're doing. The big issue for me is now that I have it, is this fluid, this fog fluid. And I go into more detail in the video, but they send this bottle, and this bottle has 60 milliliters of this mystery fluid that basically creates the fog. And they have some of the ingredients here, but not all of them, so you can't just go out and create your own. And the device isn't popular enough yet that there are knockoffs of this fluid. So right now, the only way to get more fluid is to go through Funtech Lab. And as of yesterday, these bottles cost $16 each. I don't know how long a bottle will last, because you fill up. This is the little reservoir, and you can kind of see right there's a line. You fill this up. This supposedly holds 20 milliliters. This has 60, so you're going to get 3 full. You can fill this receptacle 3 times. It has a little marker, and there's a marker about right there that says 100%. The problem is that this receptacle is bigger than that, and if you fill it up, you're going to fill it to about 125%, roughly. And I just filled it up because the lines are pretty hard to see. So I filled it up, put it in there, and ran the machine. So I ran it for about 5 minutes, and then they have a little thing that tells you how much time you have remaining. It said I had 55 minutes, so I'm thinking, okay, I ran it for 5 minutes. It says I have 55 minutes remaining, so I get about an hour. But then the next day I used it, and it said I had 24 minutes remaining. But the fluid was still all the way at the top, still above 100%. So how could I have more than 100% of fluid, but now I've got even like half the time? So it's they're pretty responsive on the Discord. So I went in the Discord, asked them some questions, and they tell me that, don't fill it above 100 because that could cause issues with the readout and security warnings. It seems like if that's the case, that's something that you might want to like highlight or emphasize or even note in the instructions or somewhere. but they don't. And so I poured out some of the fluid, and they told me I could manually reset the thing, and we'll see how that works out. It has these two nozzles. There's one here, and I don't know if I brought the other one in, but this one has one hole on the bottom, and so it will release one stream of smoke, and the other one has 5, and it will release 5 streams, and you can observe how the air flows over, under, and around the cars. And it's pretty cool, because once you turn it up, it goes from about 0 miles per hour to about 255. And when you turn it up, I mean, you can see the air moving, and more importantly, you can see sort of the turbulence as the air is flowing over the car, and you can see and get a better understanding of which cars are more aerodynamically sound versus some others. And it's a good visual representation of the things that I'm telling the students. So let me see. So for example, here's another picture, and like I said, we'll run some cars through here. So this is a Mach Speeder that I have, a ID version, which is a great looking car. They really put a lot of attention to detail in those ID cars. But you can see the 5 streams, and that lowest stream is flowing over the car. And one thing I did notice is that the cars sit low. I mean, they're Hot Wheels cars. And that first stream comes in and kind of hits above the just above the front bumper, and kind of hits the hood. So what I was experimenting with a little bit was raising the cars up. So on this one, with this McLaren, you see I raised it up. I put a little, I think a magnet or something under there, and raised it up so that first stream hits the car like directly in the bumper, and then the air has to not make the decision, but it's either going to go over, under, or around the car. With the other view, so with this view, you see that the air is pretty much, that lowest stream is pretty much guaranteed to just go over the top of the car, and you're not really getting the same look. Whereas this one, you can see right there at the front, you can see where that air, where the fog, the smoke is hitting the front bumper of the car and is building up, and then some is going, you can see right there, some is going down underneath the car, some's going over the roof line, and some is also coming around the edges of the car to flow that way. So and then on this same picture, at the back end of the car, you can see where the air just gets a lot more turbulent, and that is definitely something that you can observe. And the less turbulence then the better the car's aerodynamic profile. So in the video, if you saw the Gazella, there was very little turbulence, except all the way at the back end, beneath the wing and above the bumper. So the diffuser is pushing air from the bottom of the car up, and that wing is kind of pushing it down, and it meets sort of right behind the back bumper. And you see this swirl, and you just see the air swirling around. And now that I have this wind tunnel and all of these things, I have to go back and do some studying, because when the air separates from the body of the car, so it's flowing along, I believe it's the Bernoulli effect, where it's following the curvature of the object. But when the air starts to separate, you start to see all this turbulence. And the more turbulence there is, that impacts the car's ability to, as it's pushing through the air. I don't remember the specifics because it was something that, since I didn't have this direct visual representation, I didn't spend as much time going into too much depth with it with the students. But now that I have this, I really need to go back and do some more studying and brush up on what those different vortices mean, and all that turbulent air, how that impacts the car, and creates areas of low pressure, I believe, but don't quote me. But it changes the pressure, and that's sort of the issue. If you look at the Baja Hauler, which I also ran in the wind tunnel on the video, you will see how much like air is swirling all around. It's just very chaotic. But when you look at that Gazella, that air is flowing, that airstream is flowing over that pretty smoothly. And you know what? I mean, we got it here. I might as well go ahead and do it right now. Let me take this, although I just have the one, I only brought in the one stream. Okay, so we'll use this one, and I will slide this into the, slide this in, and let me switch over to this view. I've also decided that I'm going to start something. It's going to be called Wind Tunnel Wednesdays, where it's just going to be throwing cars into this into the Windsible and checking it out. Let me kind of move this so you can see a little bit. Well, basically this cartridge slides in, and that's the other thing I need to do, is I need to work out the camera angles. So I've turned it on, and then take this, slide it in the back. This slides in here. Got two lights, and the two lights indicate that it's ready to go. Pop this grill on the back, and we will grab the Gazella, place that in there like this, and looks good to go. And I'll close this up. Let's see. And so we turn it up, and you basically just start to crank it, and the air starts to flow. So this one is, again, that single stream. So let me see. We can also take a look at above, and you can kind of see how the air is flowing over the car. Yeah, I've got to work out the camera angles. I've got to work out the lighting and the glare, but this sort of gives you an idea of how it all works. You can crank it up. And I actually need to get a lower view so that you can actually, it needs to be at the level of the car. And this goes up to simulate 255 miles per hour. You can kind of see again. And then as you bring it back down, And actually, see, at the lower speeds, you kind of get more interesting, it's easier to observe. Once you crank it up to the highest speed, you're not really, it's a little more difficult to see what's happening. And then it's got this cool effect when you shut it down. That fluid just kind of stays in there until you open it up. And once you open it up, the fluid just dissipates. And it did come with this little cleaning cloth to clean the cars off. And do that. So the car, it's not, they don't have any kind of, you don't feel necessarily any residue, and nothing is visible on the cloth, but I still wipe the cars off anyway, because after you use it for a while, there's definitely like a little film in that chamber that needs to be wiped out and cleaned up. And so if I look back, and let's just double check and see. So it's got a menu that you basically just press this. You can get the menu. Typically. There we go. So you can change the illumination, the tail light, the emission speed, the fog fluid remaining. So let's see this. So see, it's telling me I have 17 minutes, but you just saw that how could I only have 17 minutes remaining when, okay, press to calibrate manually. Okay, so I'm going to say it's at 100%. So it's at 100%, and see how much time that says that I now have. Well, now it just says 100%. 75%. Oh, okay. So we're going with 100. Yes. 100%. Oh, 180 minutes. So now it's jumped all the way up. That I have 180 minutes of time. So I really have no idea at this point. I don't know how long this would last, but you know, we're gonna find out. Roshad says, yeah, the RC scale. Yeah, I don't. They are making, I think I saw on the website, and it's Funtech Lab, that it would be, I think a 1/10 scale and a 1/18 scale are what their plans are. But I think if it's popular enough, yeah, I don't know what it takes to actually make these at scale, but I like you, I don't know how big the Hot Wheels racing scene is. I know that they're, gravity tracks and all of that, but at this price, it's just so expensive that I don't know who the market is. But anyway, I'm happy to have it. If anybody has any questions about it, you can always let me know. But that is the Windsible 1/64 scale wind tunnel. And here's the other thing, this filter. So it's got this little filter that came with it. This is there's one in there, and then there's this one, but there's no information in the instructions about how long that filter should last. There's no directions or information about really how to clean it, and you're really just kind of, if you don't, you have to go on the Discord channel, and ask them questions, because otherwise the instructions really aren't that detailed, and on the website there's no, you can buy more of the fog fluid, but you can't buy the filters. So if you can't buy any replacement filters, are they that important? I don't know. It seems like they are, but again, it's one of those things that I'll kind of find out as I use this more frequently. And if you, again, follow us on Instagram, aaAerodynamics.com or aaAerodynamics, I am going to start doing some kind of live stream. I don't know if it's going to be on Instagram or YouTube. It really pretty much depends on if I can get a good vertical view of this. But yeah, it will be Wind Tunnel Wednesdays, so that will be coming soon, and we'll just get cars and put them in there and look at the aerodynamics and see how different cars are performing in the wind tunnel. So that is that. And again, if you want to see the full video, an hour long, even though I've talked about it for a while now, it is on our YouTube channel. But we are here today at the Track Live is about the races, and we are going to be grabbing some cars in addition to the two cars that Roughshod and Jordan picked. We are going to introduce some new cars to the fleet, and so I have some here, and I realized I had a bag back here that had some in it. What are we looking at? These were some of the cars that I will eventually crack open and race. I just don't want to mix them in with the Hot Wheels, but this Adventure Force, they've got a Corvette here. There's another one that I don't know what scale this is, but it's clearly a Roger Dodger knockoff. And that's not going in. Let's see, what else is in here? Nothing too interesting. We've got the the water truck. That's not going in. All right, let's just stick with the actual cars. See what we've got. So first one up. Let me double check the spreadsheet. Make sure we don't have one already. Oh nope, we already have one. So the first one was going to be this one, the Mad Mike Drift Attack, but we already have it in there. It's car number 610, so this is going to the prize bin. Sorry, Mad Mike. Okay, let's see what next. How about, let's see if we've got this. Let me double check the years. 69. We have a 69 Chevelle. We have two 69 Chevelles, a 69 Corvette, a 69 Corvette Racer, a 69 Dodge Charger, 69 Dodge Charger 500, Ford Mustang, Ford Torino, 3 Ford Torino Talladegas from 1969, a red one, a blue one, and I don't know what color the other one is, but I don't know why there's 3, and a 69 Mercury Cougar Eliminator. But we do not have, until right now, this one. A 69 Camaro Convertible. So this is going to be the first car that we crack open and take a look at. So let's go ahead and check this one out. Any information on the back? Nope, just part of the Muscle Mania series, the Muscle Car series. So let's open it up. All right. Here, check the weight. So I finally set up another camera, but I set it up for the wind tunnel and not for the scale. So this car weighs in at 35.3 grams. I believe that the Gazella R is 32.3. So yeah, it's just a few grams. This Camaro is just a few grams heavier. So let's take a closer look at this one. and see our first car of the day. So we've got, it's a nice looking car, pretty basic basic color scheme there. Don't need 4K, we'll just go right here. Turn it back. I always want to start these just so that it's easier to edit when I need to. I always try to start the cars start taking the video at 6:30 as they rotate counterclockwise and come back. So this is car number, let's go down, 813. 813 cars, all listed in catalog. This is the 69 Camaro Convertible. And I mean, pretty standard. I don't know how the convertible top, how that impacts these cars and their performance. And it's one of the things that plan to look at with the Windsible is how does the air flow once it comes over the over that windshield. Then what happens? It just probably just flies off into the air and creates more turbulence and serves to slow the car down. That's my theory, but with the Windsible, we'll actually be able to see that in practice and see what happens and whether or not convertibles are at a disadvantage when it comes to the aerodynamics, or if I was making assumptions that were incorrect. So let's go ahead here and get the, guess what would have helped if I turned on the overhead light. So got this here. Let's zoom on in. And we have this Camaro looking good. Let me put a little bit of backfill light on there. And we have car number 813, the convertible Camaro, which, what year? This manufactured 2006. It's got the, I did notice it's got the larger wheels at the back and smaller wheels at the front. I like that stance on the car. So this is first one we've got in there, and I think we might have accidentally stumbled across a theme, because the next car that is going to be introduced is also a convertible, but I need to double check to make sure we don't already have one. So check the spreadsheet, and do we have one? I am looking for the McLarens. We have a McLaren 720S, 720S Spider, a P1, a Senna, a Solus GT. Oh wait, did I say this one? McLaren. Okay, no, we don't have this one. All right, now we do. Let's get back over here. It is the McLaren Elva, and it is a convertible. Well, it's not really a convertible, but a racer. And we are going to crack this open and take a look at it and see how it stacks up. Anything on the back? Nope, just part of the Hot Wheels Roadster series. It's a good looking car. Looks like the paint is a little scuffed up before it even comes out of the package, but nevertheless. All right, let's check the weight on this one. Weighs in at 31.4 grams, so just a gram roughly lighter than the Gazella. Let's go ahead and we'll get the still picture first, and let's go over here, take a look at this. And I like this car. What I'm not thrilled about is the fact that and I should have known, I should have taken a closer look when I got it out of the package, is that the paint is nicked right there, and then also on this back edge when it spins around, you'll see it, but it's a minor thing. Overall, good looking car. And let's go ahead and get this still picture here. Boom, got that. And now just need to grab a quick video of the McLaren Elva as it comes around here. This if I just had to pick between the two cars, the Camaro and this one, I'm going with this one. But this one, it seems like it has a lot in common with the Exotique that Roughshod picked. And I think the main difference I see is that open sort of driver's area on this one versus the Exotique, which has a very sort of sleek, streamlined look to it, but the cabin area is completely enclosed, which should help it out in terms of drag not being as much of a problem. So we've got the McLaren. Which I clearly spelled in a rush. I'm pretty sure I spelled McLaren wrong on the in the video, because I had a McLaren F1 GTR, and I will have to go back and correct. Well, I won't be able to correct it in the video without re-uploading, which I'm not about to do. So we will see. All right, so we've got this McLaren Elva. Let me check the year. The year is 2021. And 2021, the manufacturing year, we've got the McLaren Elva. And I will make myself a note to go back and correct the McLaren spelling on the video. Correct spelling. It is McLaren, M-C-L-A-R-E-N, not M-C capital C-L-A-R-E-N. So, my mistake. But, yeah, let's see. The paint's a little nicked. Let's see, right there. And then on this back edge a bit, but nothing too bad. I still really like the look of that car, and we will see what it can do on the track. So we've got our McLaren Elva, we've got our '69 Camaro, we have two cars picked by Roughshod and Jordan, and we need to add yet another. So let me see if we have one of these. This is the limited grip, this sport truck. Kind of reminds me of the Nator that was our fastest in fleet champion for a while. I'm thinking we do have one of these, but this is why I keep the spreadsheet. Limited grip, let's see, Yep, we have a limited grip. It is car number 727, so this one is going into the prize bin. All right. I might have to go back in storage and pull some others out. This is the this is the McLaren F1 GTR that I was referring to earlier. That's in the wind tunnel video, and I really like this car, but it is it has the real riders, which are the rubber wheels, and therefore there's too much friction and it's just slow on the track, and it's heavy. This weighs in at, I guess, 48 grams. 52.6. So with these kind of premium cars, there's a lot more metal that's used and definitely a lot more detail. So I think that most of the cars that I used in the video for the Windsible, the unboxing, and the review were a lot of these premium cars that I don't really get a chance to do anything with because they've got the rubber wheels. But they look really good close up in the Windsible. So I think when I shoot little promo videos and things, I'm going to finally be able to use some of these premium cars that otherwise never get a chance to shine. So, all right, let's see. Well, all right, we've got this Mazda RX-3. I don't know if we have one of these. Let's see. Mazda RX-3. Yes, we have one. Car number 655. I am swinging and missing today. Are there any cars in this bag that are worth running? Let's see. We have a Tesla Model S Plaid. I don't know if let's see. There's a Tesla Roadster and a Tesla Model 3. So since we're at the literal bottom of the bag, we'll introduce this one. So let's go ahead and crack this one open. Let's see. Tesla Model S Plaid, born 2021 in Hawthorne, California. Sporting more than 1,000 horsepower, this aerodynamic all-star is fitted with cold thrusters to achieve 0 to 60 in a mind-numbing 1.5 seconds, making it the quickest acceleration vehicle in production. Complete a quarter mile. Oh, so this series is the Quarter Mile Heroes. Complete a quarter-mile race in under 10 seconds with the fastest production cars on the road. Oh, we'll definitely beat 10 seconds. So let's crack this open and take a look. All right. See what the weight is. Weight is 37.3 grams, so 37.3 grams for the Tesla Model S Plaid. And here we go. Oh wait, it's got something on the back bumper. Oh, it just says Hot Wheels Plaid. Alright, let's get this lined up. Take a look. Take a closer look. And here we have it. I am going to switch out that background because it is blending in quite a bit. The blue on blue. Throw some silver in there. And adjust the focus. Get the focus locked in. Turn this around. And here we go. So in the real world, this car is extremely fast and would be a pick to win most races. But this is Hot Wheels racing. And this car just comes across as a standard sedan, and I don't have particularly high hopes and or expectations for it. Oh, well, I think it would also help if I had this other light on. That's why. I thought it looked a little dim. Let's go here. My lights. Okay. There we go. I'll plug this one in. But as I was saying, in the real world, this car would be a good bet to win a drag race, especially with the quickest quarter mile time for a production vehicle. But there are no electric motors to enhance its performance here. So what we have is what we're going to get, which is a four-door sedan. And can it compete with some of these other cars? I don't know. We're going to find out. They did put some extra detail on this one, and you can see that in the back end here. But hang on, get that focus right there. So when they decide to do it, you can put in, you got the badge, you've got the little custom license plate, you've got the paint around the tail lights, Hot Wheels logo, Plaid right there. So when they decide to do it, they can make these even basic cars look pretty nice. So let's zoom out just a little bit. Lock in that focus, and we have our latest entrant. Let me see if I can throw some backlight on this thing. Yeah, it helped a little. Boom. All right, so now we have our fifth car introduced. I mean, it's the third, well, technically it's the third car that has been introduced. But we have Roughshod and Jordan's picks. So we've got this Tesla Model S Plaid. And the manufacturing year is 2024. Okay, so we need one more car. So let's see, I don't have any more here at the desk, so other than that Buick Riviera, which, oh wait, is there another one here? Wait, we've got a Morris Mini, but I have a feeling we already ran one of these not too long ago, but I'll double check. It's the whole point of the spreadsheet. We have yep, Morris Mini. Oh, it's car number 177, so it's been in the fleet for a while. So this one, prize bin. I might as well go with I'll go with this Buick Riviera, and I'll crack this open. Let's see, what does it say? Born in 1966 in Flint, Michigan, put power to pavement with the large luxury coupe that defined an era, sporting the famed 425 cubic inch nailhead V8 engine. The Riviera features an impressive 360 horsepower at 4,400 RPM. All right, so let's check it out. Okay, what does this car weigh? Oh, there's no way this car is going to be fast. Sometimes you can pull a car out of the package and just get it in your hand and tell there's no way this car is going to be fast. But it comes in at 33.3 grams. So there is that. Take this background out because this car is not a dark blue. It is a light blue. Beautiful light blue. So, all right, there we go. Let's jump over here. and take a look at the Buick Riviera. 1966 Buick Riviera is now in the fleet. We've got it there, and shoot this little video, and we will be one step closer to hitting the track and seeing which of these cars is going to be today's champion, which car is going to have the opportunity to step up and face the Gazella R for the fastest in fleet title. That is going to be the big mystery. So, all right, let's see. We're at car number 816. 816. It is the 66 Buick Riviera. Great. And I believe that the year is probably 2024. Now see, with this car, it would have been nice if on the tail lights they had done kind of what they did with that Tesla. Like just throw a little bit of red paint on there. But I understand it's a basic car. If they come out with a premium version of this, then I will definitely be picking it up. But I like the color. I like the body style. I like the wheels on this. I like the chrome on the grill. It's just all around. I give this car high marks. But I do not think it's going to be fast. I think it's going to get smoked on the track. But you never know. So we have to race the cars anyway. So that is what we have. We've got the 66 Buick Riviera. We've got the Tesla Plaid, S Plaid car. We've got the McLaren Elva and the 69 Camaro. And we are ready to grab Roughshod and Jordan's pick. So I'm going to go and do that. And as this car comes around again, I just can't help, like, if they had done the same thing they did with the Tesla, it makes a difference. And if we're looking here, I mean, it makes a difference. One car looks like it's some kind of, like, it's premium, even though these are both basic cars and they both cost the same amount of money. This one, the additional detail makes a difference. The fact that they can do it, they just didn't do it. So this would have been nice. And so maybe, I don't know, when I go to the die-cast swap meet, maybe I can find a customizer who can add some little details in there. Maybe not. Either way, I like this car. I don't know that it's going to be anything to write home about, but we will see. So, all right, I'm going to go and pick up the two cars for Roughshod and Jordan. So we're looking at, it was car number 78 and car number 429. So the Mod Rod and the Exotique. So I am going to go get those. I don't have any other background music or graphics or anything else to put on the screen. So once again, it will be the bathroom break music. The timer is going to say 5 minutes. Shouldn't take me nearly that long. So I will pull those cars and I'll be right back. Okay, so I pulled the cars, and let's go ahead and take a look and see what each of these looks like. So let's start with the Exotique. Let me check the weight. And it's coming in at 29.3 grams, so it's lighter. And lighter than the Gazella. And let's take a closer look at this car. And as we discussed, it is definitely this area here. When we look at the Gazella has a similar profile in terms of this area here, and we saw when it was in the wind tunnel how the air flowed over the top, so that should definitely be the case with the Exotique as well. Now this back end, this is what we were talking about looking at, and it looks like this area here, this little section, is going to be the part that presses up against the launching block, and we will have to see how that impacts its the launch that it gets. Is it going to get a good solid straight launch? We don't know. There is no wing on the car, which is something that we typically see from a lot of these fantasy cars, exotic cars, but you know, we'll see how it works. The splitter is kind of pushed in this sort of upward angle, just like the Gazella, and I think that the air should be able to flow easily over, under, and around these channels here. The question is, what happens when the air, when it comes off the back of the car in this area? But we will see. So that's the Exotique, and that is Roughshod's pick. And now we're going to get to Jordan's pick, which was the Mod Rod. And here we go. This is the Mod Rod. Oh, let me check the weight. The weight feels pretty light. Comes in at 28.6 grams. So it is the lightest car today. And I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. When we look at the back end, we can tell that the way that the back wheels stick out, that is the part of the car that will be pressed up against the launching block. So I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's been a car that's had the wheels pressed up against the launching block that has performed well on the track, but we'll see how this goes. I am concerned because the car is so light and the open wheels. This car I could easily see this car flying off the track, hitting the barrier, and ending up with the axles bent, which would be a shame because this is a good-looking car. But nevertheless, the track doesn't care what you look like. The track doesn't care about anything other than can you perform. And if you can make it down the track, then good luck. If you crash, who knows what will happen. So we're going to find out. The car, again, with it being light, I just am concerned that the push that it's going to get is going to be, I don't know. It could fly away. If it was heavier and had open wheels, but a lot of the open wheel cars, just because of the nature of the cars that they're kind of replicating, don't weigh very much. So we're going to find out. This is the whole reason why we race the cars and take them to the track. So we are ready to go. We've got our 5 competitors here. We have the Exotique, the Roughshod pick. We have the Mod Rod. We have the 69 Camaro Convertible. We have the McLaren Elva. We have the Tesla Plaid S. And we have the 66 Buick Riviera. We are about to take these cars to the track. And just in case this is your first time viewing, and all about aerodynamics at the Track Live race, this is what you are about to see. You are going to see our 3-camera track view, and the cars are going to start at the top of the camera on the left at the start line. At the top, I will put the cars in the launcher. I will count down 3, 2, 1, and I will release the cars. The cars will come flying out from top to bottom. They will pass out of the bottom section of the screen. They will show up at the top of the screen in the middle. They will come from top to bottom, flying through the screen. They will show up at the top of the screen on the right, our finish line camera. They will come from top to bottom. They will cross the finish line, and the car that crosses first will be indicated with a solid red light. A flashing red light indicates that car lost. The cars will then switch lanes, and we will run the race again. Same thing will happen, top to bottom, left, middle, and far right. And the car that wins 2 races is going to be the car that moves on. If a car happens to crash, then we crash and come off the track. Then we will throw out the results and we will restart the race. If a car crashes, but it remains on the track, then it's just lost the race. But cars that crash twice consecutively, leaving the track, are automatically disqualified. And that is because if a car crashes twice consecutively in the same way, then there's some problem between the launch the car is getting and the way it's moving down the track, and it's a problem that's not going to be solved by just rerunning the race. And so if a car crashes twice consecutively, it's out, it's disqualified. And then later on I'll take a slow motion video to see if I can figure out exactly why the car crashed and what's happening. So we are set up. We have our 5 cars, we have the track set up, we are all ready to go, and never-ending adventures. What's up? How's it going? You made it just in time, because we are going to hit the track in 30 seconds. And we are ready to go. I just need to double check, triple check the audio. So let me just go back here, make sure everything is as it should be. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep, we're good on the audio. Track is ready, cars are ready. We are going to find out who is going to step up. Now, last week, the finals, it was user, actually there were 3 viewer picked cars, and those cars, all 3 of those were the final 3, and the winning car was also a viewer pick. So we're gonna find out if the viewer picked cars can beat out the cars that are new to the fleet. So we are going to go, let's just jump right into it. I'm curious about this Exotique. We're going to go with the Exotique versus the McLaren Elva. They have a similar, those of the cars that are racing today, those 2 have a somewhat similar profile. This Exotique feels particularly light, which is... we'll find out whether or not that's going to work in its favor or not. It doesn't have the wing, but that's not mandatory for success. It's just a question of whether or not a car can stay straight on the track and get a good launch. Getting a good launch, staying straight on the track, and if you get a bad launch, how long will it take the car to correct itself? So we've got the McLaren Elva in lane 1. We've got Roughshods Exotique in lane 2. This is race number 1. Here we go. McLaren lane 1, Exotique lane 2. Three, two, one, race. Woo. So, with that one, I don't know if you could catch it on the video, but the Exotique went out. It went up on 2 wheels, and it stayed on 2 wheels for maybe the first third of the track, like until right about this point, it was still on 2 wheels. It corrected itself, and when it corrected itself, I thought it was going to have enough left in the tank to catch the McLaren there at the end, but it did not. And I think, when we're talking about the weight of the cars, this car is light, and I think if it had a little bit more weight to it, it wouldn't have had that issue. Because heavier cars don't tend to go up on 2 wheels and stay up on 2 wheels. They come right back down. But the Exotique went up, and by the time it corrected itself, it didn't have enough track left to make up that gap. Now, the good news is that because of that, what just happened, it suggests that if the Exotique can stay on the track, that it should be able to take this race and force a third. So cars have switched lanes. We've got the McLaren in lane 2. We've got the Exotique in lane 1. And this is race number 2. We're going to see what happens. The Exotique needs to win to force a third race. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the Exotique crashed, but the thing that it did well is because it went up on the 2 wheels, it wobbled around, and the good news is that it went off the track, because going off the track means that we are going to restart that race and throw out those results. Had it stayed on the track, it would have just lost. So that's the best case scenario. If you're going to crash. If you're going to stay on the track and finish the race. So we are going to reset and see if the Exotique can stay on the track. This car, I think there's a point at which cars are too light. And I think when you start getting into the high 20s, the mid to high 20s, the cars are too light, and it's starting to sort of prove out that case. So hopefully the Exotique can stay on the track, complete the race, because it does look fast. The problem is it just can't stay on the track. And when you're in a drag race, staying on the track is a little bit important. So here we go. The cars have been reset. We've got the McLaren doesn't want to stay put. We've got the McLaren Elva in lane 2. We've got the Exotique in lane 1. This is race 2. The Exotique still, after all that, the Exotique still needs to take this race. So here we go. Race number 2, Exotique lane 1, McLaren lane 2. Here we go. Three, two, one. Oh, whoa. I gotta move the. I see the tripod for this camera had been moved. I think during the crash, it got bumped and was kind of sticking out where it could have hit one of the cars. Okay, here we go. Back to it. Exotique lane 1, McLaren lane 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Okay, both cars stayed on the track that time, but the McLaren still took it, so the McLaren will be moving on, and we will find out if we will have one of our viewer picks become the winner. And I see that Never Ending has made a pick, so we'll get, let's see, you picked 516. Okay, let me just go ahead and grab car number 516. Let's see. Oh, okay. So Never Ending has picked the what 4.2. That's what's on the bottom of this. I haven't checked I'm not looking at the spreadsheet, but on the bottom of the car it says what 4.2, which is I mean, I guess it's the, we've got a is that really what it says? What 4.2? Okay. Stone cold. What? All right, so let's see. We're going to go with the, let's go with Jordan's mod rod versus the Tesla. So I am hoping that this mod rod, I'm sure Jordan wants it to win. Whether it wins or loses doesn't matter so much to me. I just don't want it to crash and bust an axle. So the mod rod is going into lane 2. It is one of the first open wheel cars to compete in a while, since I kind of I stopped introducing open wheel cars to the fleet, but the ones that are already there are just grandfathered in, and we are going to find out whether or not this car is ready for to be one of the lone representatives for one of the last representatives of open wheel cars in the fleet. This Tesla doesn't want to cooperate, surprise, but let's go. All right, we've got it in there. So we've got the Tesla in lane 1. We have the mod rod in lane 2, race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Shockingly, the mod rod zipped right on down to the end of the track. The Tesla crashed right out of the gate. So, again, we can have theories about how cars will perform, what will happen, but you have to actually put them on the track, because that was not what I would have expected. If you told me one of these two cars is going to crash, I would not have predicted that it was going to be the Tesla sedan. But it was. So now, if the Tesla crashes once again, it is disqualified and the mod rod will move on. But we're going to see what happens next. The mod rod is set up. It had a nice run that first time. And we're going to put this Plaid S in lane 1. So here we go. We've got the mod rod in lane 2. We've got the Tesla S Plaid in lane 1. Race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. That was a very close race, very close indeed, but the Tesla took it, and we will be going on to race number 2 and hoping that the mod rod can put in another solid performance. I just don't want it to crash, and it didn't crash, so I'm happy, but there are still more races to go. We are going to switch lanes and find out who will be moving on to the next round. So, slide this back. We have the Mod Rod is now going into lane number 1. And the Tesla is in lane number 2. All right. So these cars are ready to go. All right. Tesla lane 2, Mod Rod lane 1. Mod Rod needs to take this win in order to force a third race. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. The Mod Rod finished the race. The Mod Rod finished the race way behind the Tesla. So the Mod Rod is done for the day. But, again, it didn't crash. So that's a moral victory, something. But the Tesla is moving on with the McLaren. And those are the two vehicles that are going to be waiting the winner of this next matchup. So let's go with the we're going with this 60s matchup. We're going to go with the 66 Buick Riviera versus the 69 Camaro. So let's see. We're taking it back to the 60s, and we're going to see which of these cars comes out on top. My Buick Riviera or the Camaro Convertible. All right, they're lined up. We've got the Camaro in lane 1. We've got the Buick in lane 2. And here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the Camaro obliterated the beautiful 66 Buick Riviera, but I'm not going to say I'm surprised. The Buick it's a pretty narrow car, and there's a lot of room for it to bounce around the track, which is not what you want. But we have one more race to go to find out if that was, I guess it wouldn't be an accident, but to find out if the Buick has any more in it than what it showed in that first race. So we're going to switch lanes, and the Buick is now in lane 1, and it's loaded up and ready to go, and the Camaro is in lane number 2. Also, almost. Oh. All right, now the Camaro's in there. All right, Camaro lane 2, Buick lane 1. Camaro's up, 1 race to none. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Buick kept it a little closer, but started to slow down toward the back end of the track. It didn't have the weight. It didn't have the aerodynamic profile. It didn't have really much of what it took, but it is still my favorite car introduced today, and it will go into the fleet. And I will also make sure that I look for another version in the store that doesn't have the little extra piece of metal sticking out on the side. And we now are down to 4 cars. We've got the McLaren, but we've got the McLaren, the Tesla, and the Camaro. And now we have Never Ending. We have Never Ending's what? The Never Ending is going to face the Tesla. What? The what? 4-2. What? I said we're going to have a race. What? Okay, if you aren't a Attitude Era WWEF fan, then you probably didn't get that. But it amused me, so I told the joke. What? Okay, so the what 42 what is going to be in lane number 1. What? No, actually it's going to be in lane number 2. So we've got what in lane number 2, and we've got the Tesla what in lane 1. So it's going to be Tesla lining up. This what 42, we'll have to take a look at it when we get back in the garage. It's definitely unique, and it's got things sticking up on the left and right, kind of like the twin mill, but I don't know what it weighs. I don't know how that's going to impact its performance, but it is ready to go. And so we've got, once again, Tesla in lane 1 and Watt in lane 2, and we're ready to go. Watt, ready to go. Watt, ready to get started. 3, 2, 1, race. The Tesla crashes again. This Tesla is going to have to get its act together, because it did the same thing. It crashed and it bumped the camera, bumped the tripod. I don't know what it is. Let me make sure that it's not. Yeah, it's not. There's not anything impeding its progress. So we will run that race again. What? We're going to do it over. What? We're going to reset the cars. What? So we've got the what 4-2 in lane 2 once again, and because the Tesla crashed, I couldn't really tell, anything from that run, if the what 4-2 was any good, or not any good, but if it was fast. So it's lined up again in lane 2. The Tesla is going to be lined up in lane 1, and here we go. All right, Tesla lane 1, what lane 2. We're restarting race number 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. The Tesla crashed again in roughly the same area and part of the track, and as per the rules, hey, you crashed twice, and really it's crashed 3 times in exactly the same way. So the Tesla is done for the day, and I'll have to go back and look and see why it was what it's doing that's causing it to crash. But there's nothing impeding it on the track. There's nothing in the way, so there's not really a reason that I can see that it should crash. And it was definitely crashing well before it got to the tripod that holds up the first camera. So I'm gonna presume that it just got a shaky launch, and the cars that do best are cars that can correct themselves on the track in real time before they get too far down the track. So we're going to go with the what 4-2 against the 69 Camaro. So the what will just stay in lane 2, and we are going to put the Camaro in lane 1. So now we've got this race ready to go. If the Camaro would stay put, which it doesn't seem to want to do. There we go. All right, so the Camaro's in lane 1. What 4-2 is in lane 2, and we are ready to go. Three, two, one, race. Watt 4-2 just took that race and rebounded all the way back to the starting block, which suggests that car was moving. And once it hits that memory foam barrier at the end, it's Newton's third law of motion. Every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So the action was it hit that memory foam barrier. The reaction was it bounced back. All the cars bounced back, but depending on how much force they hit that barrier with determines how far back they roll. And the more force they hit it with, the further back they roll. And the What For 2 rolled all the way back to the starting block, which is something that we only see from our fastest cars. So Never Ending may have come in at the wire and found the sleeper fantasy car. It has a wild look, and once we get back in the garage, we're going to take a closer look at it. But for now, it's up 1-0 on the Camaro. It's now in lane 1. The Camaro is going to be in lane 2, and we are going to find out if we're going to need to go to a third and final race before we get to the finals. So here we go. What For 2 is in lane 1, and the Camaro is in lane 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Watt is coming back. Boom. All the way back. Rebounded all the way back to the starting block for the second time. So this What For 2 is it's I don't know. It's a strange looking car. But it's won. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you look like. Question is, did you win? And the answer for the What For 2 is that it won. And it is now going to the finals against the McLaren Elva. So this is our finals matchup to see which car will end up taking on the Gazella. And we are going to check it out. And let's see, we'll put the What For 2 in lane 2. And we'll put the McLaren in lane 1. Ready to go. Both of these cars lined up. McLaren Elva in lane 1. The What For 2 is in lane 2. So here we go, race 1. This is the finals. Three, two, one, race. Woohoo! It's coming all the way back. This What For 2 has some power. It's got speed, it's got power. It is a weird looking car that I never would have thought would be performing this well. But apparently Never Ending has the magic eye, and he was able to pick that car out, and it is one win away from taking today's tournament and moving on to face the Gazella. But we do have to switch lanes, and we have had cars that have lost the first race, come back and won 2 in a row. It is not unheard of. It is not unusual, but I don't know. This bizarre looking What For 2 is poised to take today's race and move on to challenge the Gazella. And with the speed it's displaying, the Gazella might have a problem if it gets to that. We have one more race to go. So here we go. We've got the What For 2 in lane 1. We have the McLaren Elva in lane 2. Race number 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Woo. That race was closer. Here comes the What, slamming back into the starting block, and the race was closer, but the What For 2 took it, and the What For 2 is our winner. What? It's our winner. What? It won the tournament. What? It beat the McLaren. What? It's going to challenge the Gazella in the finals. So let me get the Gazella R here. And will this be the upset? Will this be the race that throws off the big plans, that throws off the championship rematch later in March, we could have a brand new champion. The What For 2 is not only fast, it's clearly fast. It's fast, it's powerful, and it has made the statement today that it's ready to go. And so the Gazella hasn't been challenged very often, but today could be the day. So we've got the Gazella R in lane 1. We have the What For 2 in lane 2. We have fastest in fleet title on the line. This is race 1. So again, we have the What For 2 in lane 2. We have the Gazella R, our fastest in fleet champion, in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. It was close. It was close, but the Gazella took it. Gazella came all the way back to the start line just to show the What For 2. Yeah, I can do that too. But that's just one race, and we are going to have to see when the cars switch lanes if the What For 2 can pull out 2 wins in a row. We have, again, we've seen it done many times before, so it's not unusual. It's not something that's unseen or unheard of on the track. We've seen it before. But the question is, can the What For 2 do it? It's dug itself quite a hole, being down, being asked to win 2 races against a car that has not lost ever and rarely loses a race. So we have the Gazella R in lane 2, lined up, ready to go. We have the What For 2 in lane 1, and this is the race. Let me just double check after that Tesla crash. I just want to make sure that the tripod is not impeding anyone's progress. It is not. That's good. So now we have, again, we have the Gazella in lane 2. We have the What For 2 in lane 1. This is race number 2, and we are going to see which car comes out on top. Are we going to have a third and final race, or is the Gazella going to just continue its march towards March? All right, here we go. Three, two, one, race. It was close. It was close. But close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. And this is Hot Wheels drag racing. And that means that the Gazella R remains our fastest in-fleet car, our champion. I'm going to gather these cars up. We're going to go back to the garage, take a look, and especially take a look at the What For 2. So let me gather these up, and I'll be back in the garage in a minute. And once again, the Gazella R is the champ. What? It's the best. What? It's number 1. What? It is the car that has destroyed every competitor that it's faced. Although, I will say, that the What For 2 gave it a challenge. It stayed close. Most cars get beat by when they face the Gazella, they get beat by car lengths, and that's how we're looking at it. This one, these races and these matches were pretty close, and never ending. He got his pick in, and yeah, try again next week. But let's take a look at the What For 2, because when I say it's an unusual car, it's very unusual. Let's look at all of this that's going on here. So we've got, it's like the twin mill, but it's got even more. I don't know, is this 4 engines? I don't know what's happening here, but it's got these here. They're sticking up, and you would think that this would be slowing the car down considerably, but this car was very fast. It's a plastic body on a metal base, so we see that with a lot of the fantasy cars. It does not have a wing. The driver's canopy is sitting in the back, much like a drag racer, funny car rather. And this is just an interesting car that I never would have thought would have been as fast as it was on the track. If these engine blocks were removed and the car maintained the same weight, then I would probably have more confidence that this car would be possibly our new champion, but it's not. But here is something that we can do. We've got this unusual car, and we've got our wind tunnel. So why don't we go ahead and throw the What For 2 into the wind tunnel? Although I wish, let me see, did I bring it? I don't have the 5-stream nozzle in here, but I will make sure that on Wednesday, on Wind Tunnel Wednesday, I haven't determined if that's going to be on Instagram or YouTube, wherever it ends up. I am going to we'll throw the What For 2 in there, and it will be we'll use the 5 streams, 5 smoke stream nozzle to take a look. So let's see what we can get this way. See if I can bring that down just a little bit, make it a little easier to see. Lock in the focus. And all right, let's see what's going on with this car. Let me get this menu back to all right, here we go. See how this air is flowing around this car at 50. No, the scale speeds this thing was hitting far beyond that. So we'll crank it up to, let's go at 147. We can kind of get a good look, and it's just odd. Let's take a look over the top and see what we can see. It's pretty interesting. I mean, you see how the air, it's hitting that front bumper, and then it's going up, over, and around. There is a lot of turbulence, but I think with this single stream, it's a little more difficult to see exactly what's taking place. But let's go ahead and crank it up. Take a look over the top. But yeah, I think right around 150 miles an hour, it's a little easier with this thing to kind of see the air movement and what exactly is happening. Um, so that was the Watt 4.2, and like I said, on Wednesday I will um, bring this car back, and this will be one of the ones that we test out with the 5 streams of smoke, which kind of give a different kind of visual representation of what is taking place. So let me go ahead and pull this one right on out. And as I get this car cleaned up, okay, rough shot is already ready with his pick for next week. He's going with car number 221, the Slide Kick, which the Slide Kick was one of the cars that beat, if it didn't beat the Blitz Speeder, it went like head to head with the Blitz Speeder, and I think it won. It's one of the few cars to take a race from the Blitz Speeder. And let's see, 221. Yeah, the Slide Kick. The Slide Kick is no joke, and it is. I remember that race. If you want to see how the Slide Kick performed against the Blitz Speeder, you can go back, and on our YouTube channel, all of the episodes are listed, and I have gone through for the majority of them and listed out the cars that are featured. And you can actually, there's a time, the time codes are in there, so you can jump right to the car that you want to see race, and you can see how the Slide Kick performed. It was Slide Kick beat out the other cars and then got to the finals against the Blitz Speeder, and I'm pretty sure, I think it may have taken the first race, and then the Blitz Speeder came back and won the next 2. So the Slide Kick almost got it done, and Rough Shot is saying this is the car that he's picking for next week. So the Gazella may be in some trouble, or you could say that, well, the Slide Kick got beaten by the Blitz Speeder, and then the Gazella beat the Blitz Speeder. So there could be that. But we do know that the Slide Kick is a fast car and performs well on the track, so that'll be a good race no matter how it turns out, and we will find that out. This week was packed with a lot. It was the Windsible showed up. I found the 66 Buick Riviera along with some other cars fresh on the pegs, and I also, the launcher that I use on the track, I designed it and basically have to send it out to this company to do a 3D rendering of it, and they send it back, and then I make little modifications. I made some final modifications, sent it off to get printed, and once it is sent back, I'm going to check and make sure this should be the final version. It should be the final version, and no more adjustments and tweaks needed. And if that's the case, ultimately the goal with All About Aerodynamics, one of the goals, is to make the curriculum available for students, and that would include the different lessons and experiments and instructional guides, but then also a launcher. And so that if there's a school and a class in Minnesota and they want to do All About Aerodynamics, the school could buy the curriculum and the package, and there would be a launcher in there, the track, some cars, and that is the idea. But before I can send out a launcher as a part of a kit, I have to make sure that I have the final design, and then once that's straightened out, so I get the 3D models made, then I can make a bigger production run that would lower the cost, and then I can have the kit. But also, aside from just the curriculum, if there's somebody out there, Hot Wheels enthusiast, who wants to have a high-speed, flat drag race, then the launcher would be available for you to purchase. So there's things in the works, but I just sent that off, so when I get it back, I'll be able to check and see if this is the final version of this launcher, and move on with things into the future. So a lot going on. Wind Tunnel Wednesdays is coming up. Every Saturday we're here at the Track Live, racing Hot Wheels cars, introducing new Hot Wheels car, trying to find a car that can beat the Gazella as it marches towards March 29th in the showdown with the Blitz Speeder. Everyone is welcome to participate. Just go to AtTheTrack.live, select choose a car, find the car that you want, pick that car, drop the name or the number in the chat, and I will pull that car just like I did today, and we will have a race and see how your car performs. If you're interested in all about aerodynamics, the class, just go to aaAerodynamics.com or follow us on Instagram at aaAerodynamics, and you'll be able to find out and see all of, see everything that we're doing and everything that's happening. 2025 is going to be a good year. It's already starting off pretty good, and we've had some good races, checked out some aerodynamics on the car in our wind tunnel, and we will be back here next week, ready to roll, ready to introduce 6 more cars. And until then, I'm Coach James, and I will see you at the races.